Hello everybody, this is the Raspy Badger, where we doze but never close. If we don't play it, you don't want to. This is Space Quest 2, Vohauls Revenge. This one's a step back in time, back to when games were more digital, and much more difficult, where no game guides existed, and it was a lawless place. Now, here I am. I've already played this game to completion once, but it took me a really long time to finish, so I'm going to be playing it from the beginning to the end. Let's just skip the intro here. Now, here we are at Space Station. Place, Xenon Orbital Station 4. They liked the first three, so they made a fourth one. I have no idea why they need a fourth one, but I'm just a janitor. I don't get paid enough to ask questions. There they are landing inside the space station, where I am Roger Wilco. I am nobody else. My name is Roger Wilco. Orbital Station 4 is one of many orbiting Xenon, your home planet. It is a transfer point for travelers seeking transportation to the various planets in the Iranon system. As we begin this chapter of our story, we find you, Roger Wilco, Ace Janitor, doing what you do best. Sweeping up space dust that I have never seen, because you can tell this space station is as clean as ever, and it's not because I'm a good janitor. A beep emanates from your wristwatch. You release your grip on the broom, and it goes away. Now we're going to walk over here. The broom floats away, never to be used again. That makes the third one this week. Wait till your boss finds out. Yeah, he doesn't like it when you lose brooms. He usually spanks you when you lose them. But, you know, what you gonna do about it? Here's the thing, he doesn't know that I like it. So, don't tell him anything. So, we're gonna do a decontamination. Stand by for decontamination. Do. Decontamination complete. Now, look. There we go. This is the airlock chamber. From here you can gain extra vehicular access. Spare suits hang on the back wall. Some lockers are mounted on the side wall. Get suit. There we go. Now we're going to go over here to the locker and look inside locker. Look, locker. The lockers are all closed. There's nothing too interesting about them. Open locker. Look in locker. You bravely peer into the locker to find a Rubik's Cube puzzle and your athletic supporter. Get cube. Okay. Get supporter. It's also a jockstrap, if you didn't know. Okay. Let's look in locker after. You bravely peer into the locker to find it empty. You can only wonder what left behind such a foul fragrance. I have an idea. It's probably the supporter, aka jockstrap. I'm gonna leave it open because I don't care to close it. Look. You are in the transportation control room of the orbital station. The room is abuzz with activity as technicians monitor XOS operations. A pneumatic transport tube is accessible from the walkway above. Let's walk over here and talk to the supervisor. It's about time you got in here, Roger Wilco. Head for the shuttle bay on the double. I'm warning you, you're on your last leg around here, bud. One more screw-up and you're history. He then orders the transportation officer to send you directly to the shuttle bay and nowhere else until the job has been completed. Now, we're going to walk over here. Going to increase the speed a little to fast so that we don't have to walk for so long. I'm going to take this lift here. And we're going to walk into the elevator. Whatever you do, don't put it on fastest speed, because that is too fast. Here, I can show you. There. Done. Bam. Too fast. Don't put it on fastest speed. You'll just die. It is the worst thing you could possibly do. You enter the shuttle and start sniffing around for the mess you must clean. You are surprised to find that the shuttle is not empty. There are two extremely ugly suckers walking toward you. Hey! What the... Your favorite expletive here. Pow, thwack, bink, thud. Your approach is cut short as two interstellar ruffians proceed to thump you unconscious. Everything fades. Time passes. More time passes. A strange dream turns into the realization that you are being shaken and talked to by a voice unfamiliar to you. A dull ache triggers a distant memory of the scuffle in which you were the focal point. Upon awakening from your forced rest, it becomes quite apparent that you aren't in Kansas, Xenon anymore. You find that you are being held upright and under physical restraint from both sides by, you guess, the galactic goons you met on the shuttle. As you try to struggle free, you notice that your hands are tied behind your back. As the eyes dial into focus, you make out an oddly disfigured being seated before you. A sagging mess of flesh that appears to have been human at one time. Tubes and wires extended from his body, leading to machines which keep him alive. Suddenly, his vision stirs, and he begins to speak. Well, well, did we have a nice nap? I thought we would have to resort to drastic measures to wake you. Oh, well. Welcome to my humble fortress, Roger Wilco. The name's Vohauls, Sludge Vohauls. I was the genius behind the star generator when it was still in the concept stages. It was to be my ultimate war upon a weapon until some sissy-pants scientist decided it would be better used saving lives, rather than destroying them. What a waste of technology. Excuse me if I sound bitter. Anyway, you ruined my Syrian operation. I was going to use the star generator to make Xenon pay for what they did to me. They were going to know my wrath in a big way. You somehow managed to change all that. Oh, I suppose I should have known better than to use those mental midget Syrians. That's not the point, however. You were responsible, and you shall pay. Besides, I have no other plan. I have another plan, and you will not be around to foil it. I have devised a plan so horrible, so frightening, so diabolical that no one will be able to stop me. Observe my latest creation. I intend to infest your planet with thousands of these genetically engineered, door-to-door life insurance salesmen. I will at last reap sweet revenge from the scientific community that mocked me. My plan was to kill you, but I've had a change of heart. Ha ha ha! Get it? He peers down at the hoses protruding from his chest and connected to a life support system. Forgive me, I'm a kidder. I've decided I would get much more enjoyment watching you suffer. My associates will escort you to the surface of Labion, where you will perform many painful hours of manual labor in my mines. Be seeing you. An injection renders you unconscious. Your drugged carcass is loaded onto a shuttle. Upon reviving, you look through the viewing port to see Vohauls' massive asteroid fortress, getting smaller. Bum, bum, bum. Here's the spaceman, Monkey Man. After touching down on a giant landing platform, you are ushered to a hovercraft waiting to transport you to the mining site. Despair sets in. Sorry for the cut. I had some minor technical difficulties, but they've been cut out. So what you want to do is you want to come over here and search this body here to notice that there is nothing to find. If you were doing this for the first time, there should be a key card. Make sure you type in get key card. And then you want to come over here and search the hovercraft. Everything inside is twisted and bent. You would want to push button. If you don't push a button, a homing beacon will bring enemies to your location, to then whence they will execute you by gun. You don't want that to happen. So you want to come up here, and you're going to want to, go over here. So you're going to want to go over here and go to the left. Because over here, there's these spores. You're going to look here. This is another clearing in the otherwise heavily wooded area of the forest. There's a plateau near the back. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to look at spores. Look at spore. This is one of the unopened spores. Get spore. You can't safely carry more than one of the fragile spores. Alright, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come over here and climb up here. Don't try to climb the trees. They're too slick to climb. They have a oil that is produced by them naturally on the planet. Not of any use to you, but prevents you from climbing. Don't worry about the foliage. There's nothing to do with it. Make sure you don't stay on the same screen whenever you hear that. It will immediately spell your doom. Mail form. You drop the order form into the box. The mailbox hums and buzzes for a while. Then, an object of some sort drops into the tray at the base of the box. The machine goes silent. Look at mailbox. This is a mailbox. The mailbox looks typical for a mailbox. There is a slot, a tray, and a sign. Look in slot. The slot looks much like an opening in the exterior of the mailbox, through which a thin piece of mail might pass. Get whistle. Okay, so there's a whistle that you ordered through the mail. Make sure you get it. It is an important object later in the game. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come down here, and you're going to walk over here. Make sure you go to the right here. It doesn't tell you, but there's this little clearing here where this man is stuck. Look, you are in another area of the forest. The growth seems to be getting heavier here. Don't worry about the growth. Just walk around over here, around behind the tree. Don't try to climb the tree. There's no point. It's too slippery for you to climb anyway. Now, what you're going to do is help creature. In what way? Free creature. You free it, and it runs away. Now, before disappearing through a tiny hole in the brush, the little creature gives you a long glance. Don't worry about that. He appreciates your aid. Now, continue back. You need to come over here. Now, here is a minorly horrifying thing that you should soon see. Don't worry, I will probably cut this out. Okay, here we are at the tentacle creature. They're not tentacles, but from what it looks like, you might as well be in a hentai. Look at tentacle. I don't understand tentacle. Just look. You are in another clearing in the forest. This one seems to be occupied by a type of growth you are not familiar with. Look at growth. It appears to be some kind of overdeveloped root. There is a pulsating growth near the middle, which is connected to several meters of root-like appendages. So, what you need to do is you need to get to the other side and get those berries. This little mini-game is very difficult. If even a pixel of your legs touches any of those roots, you immediately die. So, I will be cutting to where I am no longer trying to do the cutscene and get those berries. Okay, so now what you're going to do is, you're going to walk down. Oh, after I turn my speed back up to fast. It is very slow to walk. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk back over here to the right, where you didn't know before, but there's a swamp. You're going to walk up here over to the right. Now, over here to the left, and up to the right here. There will be a swamp here. Notice that creature. You notice the creature has rubbed something on itself. Rub berries on body. Now, this is very important. It may seem a little weird, but you should do it or else you will die. You rub the berries all over your body. You now smell like a walking ammonia inhalant. Don't worry, that is the whole point. Yuck! Now, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through this little muck. Don't worry about that. As long as you have the berries on you, you are safe. Do not worry. Here, observe. I may look like I'm dying, but I'm not. You feel something slimy clamp down on your leg, and almost as suddenly spit you back out. You distinctly hear the sounds of aquatic gagging and retching. Evidently, you had a bad aftertaste from the berries. Don't worry about that. Do not walk into the swamp until you've had berries all placed all over you. Now, over here, it may seem like a small detail that you are now swimming. You need to hold breath. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs to near bursting, and head for the depths below. This game likes to kill you on those details. Don't worry, head down. This is a very important detail. If you do not have this item that I will be gaining from this underwater area, you will not be able to proceed further. Oh, and do not stay down here for too long. You will die. You've paddled into another portion of the underwater cavern. Your lungs tell you that you'll be in need of air darn soon. Don't worry. You should have plenty of air to complete this next area. You are in a small grotto below the swamp. Strange lights dance off the walls of this cave. Its origin, a glowing gem situated on top of a boulder. Get gem. You take the glowing gem. The gem is an important item for many, well, for a few of the next mini-games that there are to be. Now again, you're going to need to hold breath. Once again, you wisely take in a load of air and head below. Now, we're just going to get out of here as quickly as possible as not to drown. Careful, the underwater area here is a bit wonky to deal with, due to the fact that this is a game older than time itself. Now, get out of the swamp. Now, you don't have to worry about that creature ever trying to kill you again. But, don't waste your time in the water. Water's fun, but there's a galaxy to save. Well, unless you don't want to save the galaxy and live out your days on a planet filled with creatures that want to kill you. Now, Head over here. Look. You are in a lightly forested area. A large fissure nearby seems to lead straight down. Don't worry about the fissure. Whatever you do, do not walk near the edge. You will die. You will fall. Climb tree. You will climb this tree. Don't worry. You will be fine. This tree is dead and seems to be free of the slick secretions some of the others generate. You begin to shinny your way up the snag. Don't worry. This is all safe. Crack! Oof. Holy log jams, Batman. You almost ate the big one. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to climb to the right here. And you are just going to walk over here to the right. Don't worry, you are fine. Never mind, I lied. Yikes, you've been snared. Suspended above the ground, you are unable to move freely. You have to sit here and wait for 3 hours before somebody comes to save you. Never mind, I lied. You just die. Just kidding, I lied again. After a while, the cerebral fireworks begin. Capillaries begin to burst under the strain. You pass out. I lied. You immediately die after this. But don't stop watching. This is important. Once again, time passes. And then some more time passes. While unconscious, you have the strangest of dreams. You imagine that your name is Larry. You are wearing something known as a leisure suit, apparently made of 100% synthetic materials and proven to generate large amounts of static electricity. While prowling a locale known as the Land of the Lounge Lizards, you spend your time badgering women of the area to participate in bizarre mating rituals such as ... Just then, consciousness begins to creep in. Oh no, Batman, you've been captured. Sorry I added that on, but I felt like it was necessary. Your head begins to clear and you realize that you've been imprisoned. Your captor appears to be that large oaf sitting near the fire. And an oaf he is. You yell at him. Yell at oaf. He ignores you, but that's only because he's an uncultured fool. Yell at oaf. He notices me. The hunter stands and takes a long look in your direction. His face, though strange in its own right, bears an expression one might see on a freak show patron. He moves closer. Don't worry about that. Throw spore. It is a deadly spore, and immediately kills him. This oaf no longer has the brain cells to even continue functioning. Upon impact with the ground, the spore opens and spews its dust into the air. The hunter falls to the ground, paralyzed. He's dead. Now, search oaf. You search the large, not to mention uncleansed body of the hunter. You find a key, which might unlock the cage. Other than that, you find only a few assorted parasites clinging to him. Get key. You search through the bars and take possession of the key. Whatever you do, do not throw spore before he gets closer. You will die. Unlock cage. You slip the key into the lock and give it a turn. The lock snaps open. Now, here's the annoying thing. You have to do everything manually, like opening the door. You have caused the guard to be paralyzed. I don't think he's too pleased with you. Oh no, he has murdered me. Who knew that he had a randomized timer for when he wakes up? The hunter has decided that it's perfect day for a barbecue. As he slowly turns you over the fire, you begin to turn a beautiful golden brown. Death follows at an agonizingly long distance. Sorry for the wait. I'm sorry that I waited too long to get out of here. Be careful because this will happen to you as well. Way to go, Wingnut. Once again, you've demonstrated your inability to sustain life. You quickly glance around the room to see if anyone saw you blow it. Thank you for playing Space Quest 2, Roger Wilco. You've been swell to watch. Have a nice day. Well, screw you too, game developers. I hate you. Now, yell at oaf. The hunter seems to ignore you. Make sure you press F3 to do the same command over again. No need to type it out again. Now, this oaf will come towards you, as he should, again. Just do not waste your time waiting for him to wake up, because that is a stupid decision that I made. Do not be stupid as me, because I am of low IQ. Do not do the same as I have, because I am stupid. The hunter stands and takes a long look in your direction. His face, though strange in its own right, here bears an expression one might see on a freak show patron. He moves closer. Don't worry, the spore should take care of him. Upon impact to the ground, the spore opens and spews its dust into the air. The hunter falls to the ground, paralyzed. You search the large, not to mention uncleansed body of the hunter. You find a key which might unlock the cage. Other than that, you find only a few assorted parasites clinging to him. Unlock cage. Open door. Search hunter. Get key. Unlock cage. Open door. Now, Get out of here as fast as you possibly can at this fast speed of walk, and make sure you get this rope. Look around. You are in a well-hidden clearing. It is surrounded on 3 sides by large, smooth rock formations which brush to the north. A cage is below one of the formations. Make sure you get out of here as fast as you can, because he will wake up and murder you again. Do not ask me, because I have completely, totally not been killed by him before. Now look at the area around you. You are on the edge of a forest. The boundary is a sheer cliff. At the east side of the area, in the distance, you see a landing platform, possibly the one which welcomes you to this strange, lush world. You need to get down there to save the galaxy. Careful not to get shot, because you can. And it does not feel good. Don't let those monkey men lie to you. They are buffoons who only wish your death. Now, be careful when changing speeds, because upon getting to this edge, you can accidentally fall incredibly easily. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to walk over here and get on log. Do not walk into it. It will not let you get on it. Get into the middle and tie rope. You'll have to specify where you want to attach the rope to the stump or the log. Tie rope to log. Be specific, because the people who designed this game didn't know how to specify what you were tying it onto, even though you're only close enough to tie it to the log, which you're, hanging on above a fissure. But don't worry about that. Or die. Being less than careful, you lose your balance and slide off the log. Gravity has its way with you, and you are stuck to the depths of the fissure at a very high rate of speed. Needless to say, you hit the bottom, and your mortal remains remain redimensioned to the point where life is no longer an option. So to demonstrate that you can die easily there, do not press buttons to move. Type in, get on rope, and then climb down, or else you will die. Don't worry about the creature here. He is only very dangerous to your health. You are in a sheer-sided gorge, suspended on a rope between the 2 rock faces. There is a mammoth member of the local fauna to the right. It looks to be in constant need of nourishment, hence the look being cast you. Now, what you're going to do is swing. Now, be careful. You need to wait for it to reach for you 3 times, and then upon the final reaching, on the 3rd reach, when you are at the precipice of your swing, you will press F6 on your keyboard, or you will be eaten, or fall to your untimely demise. So here we are, this giant creature here waiting for me. Do not let it grab you, because it will give you a text telling what happens to you, because what happens to you is far too brutal to show, especially back in the time when this game was made. When this game was made, if you were to be eaten in the way it describes, they wouldn't be allowed to make this game. 1. Now we're coming down for 2. Now, once it reaches for you for the 3rd time, when upon your precipice, make sure you swing. There you go. This is a safe place to be, far away from the giant mammoth local creature. Now, go to the left, where a dark cavern is found. Be careful, for it is too dark to wander in safety. What you're going to do is hold gem. Holding the gem will ward off all hostile creatures in the cavern of beaver variety, and as you can tell, beavers do not like badgers. That is why I need a gem to protect myself in their territory. You take out the gem and hold it in your palm. The room is illuminated by its glow. You hear a small shriek and the sound of many footsteps moving away from you. Do not worry, you are safe. The gem is very important for another mini-game in the future. Now we're going to faster speed, because the speed is too slow to walk at. The ground below your feet disappears. You tumble down through the darkness because you're too fat to stand on the cave like a normal person. Do not worry. You are okay. That was a rather spectacular entrance. All systems seem to be intact, though. Do not let the game fool you. The dwellers mumble something. The translator responds with, "Follow us, Beanpole." They hurry away. Make sure you do not turn off your translator. Very important device. Look. You are at the bottom of a steep gorge, almost totally surrounded by impassable rock. There is an opening to the southeast. The walls extend up a great distance. Do not be fooled that you have left something behind. You accidentally dropped your gem during the fall. Make sure you get gem. If you do not have gem, you will not be able to complete the next sequence, though the next sequence, even without the gem, is almost impossible. Welcome to our canyon. You look to be from out of town. On behalf of all of us, I would like to thank you for saving our compadre from the hunters. You are welcome to stay in the canyon as long as you like. When you are ready to leave, simply say the word, and my assistants will show you the only way out for being of your size. When you leave, however, we must seal the exit behind you for our own protection. Goodbye, and good luck. Now, you don't have to actually ask what the word is. You just have to type word. Now, this part is incredibly difficult and annoying, but what you need to do is hold gem in mouth. There is a labyrinth of ladders and tunnels. Ah, better. Not a great deal better, but better. I will be skipping to the part where I get to the end. Here we are in another tunnel. Outside of it, be careful because there is a creature in the caves that will kill you. But being safe as I am, I got through there with only one try. Joking aside, I lied. I died 30 times. Now, we're going to look at this cavern with only 2 O's, not 3. This place is amazing. Beautiful subterranean waterfalls and cascades drop before you, filling the air with billions and billions of tiny misty droplets which tickle the cilia. The air is thick with a revitalizing humid freshness. This message is also getting a little thick. What you're going to do is you are going to swim into the water, increasing your speed to fast because walking is slow and lame, so you need to speed up time. Now you are going to go around here and go over here. Do not go to the left. I do not know what happens when you go to the left, but you will die. Go to the right here. Do not let things deceive you. You will not die at this point. As you enter another of the mysterious subterranean chambers, you realize that the water is now racing toward a giant whirlpool. In the middle of the area, you are caught in a strong current, powerless to alter your course. Do not worry. This is supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen. Sorry about the misspeaking. I have not had good amount of sleep. Your body is sucked down until, finally, you are able to resist no more and must yield to the overwhelming force. Do not worry, you do not die. Geez, that was quite a trip. Peering around, you find yourself back in the open again. So then you need to swim to the right. Do not worry, you are safe. Safe enough. To the point where you need the whistle. Use whistle. To then where you will summon a not Tasmanian devil, a Labion devil. You give the whistle a toot, it makes an odd sound. You hear an incredible whirring and grinding sound coming from the north. Be prepared to throw cube. Suddenly a Labian terror beast buzzes into the room like a tornado, and he looks like he could do as much damage as one. Make sure you throw cube quickly before he turns you into a smoothie. You chuck the Cubik's Rube puzzle over to the beast. He is too stupid to realize that you have deceived him and is now a oaf. The beast appears interested in your offering. Curiosity gets the better of him, and he reaches down for it. He seems quite perplexed by the puzzling plastic polyhedron. He will sit there and do that puzzle forever. Do not bump him. I do not know what happens when he does. Make sure you get rock, because the rock is very important for this next puzzle. You get the rock, and you get over here. Now you're going to look. You are in a small clearing. Before you stands a large elevated platform, much like the one on which you landed when arriving on this planet. On one leg of the platform is an elevated door. A guard patrols the mid-level. Do not try to sneak past him. It is impossible. Use supporter to throw rock at guard. I don't understand your request. Throw rock at guard. You throw the rock in the direction of the guard. Unfortunately, it falls well short of its target. The guard responds by firing in the direction he thought it came from. Well, here we are. I forgot how to complete that puzzle, but you need to use your supporter to throw the rock at the guard. Get in. Shuttle. Now you're going to look. You are inside a shuttle cockpit. There is an instrument panel before you. Between your legs is a throttle. You can see the local treetops. Now, push power button. You turn on the spaceship. Now, turn dial. Now, you make sure to press the throttle backwards. Your vertical controls are now ineffective. Turn dial. The attitude dial is now set to hack. There's no horizontal control until minimum altitude has been achieved. Turn dial. Look with only 2 Ks, because you don't need to look that hard. Look at panel. Everything looks automatic. The panel is loaded with clusters of system status indicators. There is a power button and attitude dial and an ascent thruster button. Make sure you push ascent button, even though the shuttle begins to vibrate as the ascent thrusters ignite. Look at dial. The attitude dial sets throttle control to either VAC, vertical attitude control, or HAC, horizontal attitude control. It is currently set to VAC. Make sure you press the back button again to go up. Do not worry that you will go too far up. You cannot. Once you hit minimum height, make sure you set it to HAC, to horizontal controls, and then press forward. Make sure you do not push down, or else you will just crash immediately back into the platform, upon which you die, because the shuttle explodes and reorganizes your atoms in a very aesthetically pleasing way all over the planet. You are off the planet. Good work, Roger Wilco. As a tone sounds, a soft synthesized voice notes that an adequate altitude has been achieved. Ascent thrusters are now ineffective. The monitor draws your attention again. Now, turn dial. The attitude dial now set to HAC. Now push forward. Do not worry where you're going. You do not need to know. We're just going in a direction away from Vohauls Fortress. Because we are not a coward janitor. We are the saviors of the galaxy, and we know what we're doing. Keep going forward, because that's where you're supposed to go. Never mind, Vohaul has captured us. The screens are suddenly splashed with the incredibly horrible image of Sludge Vohaul. Hello, Roger Wilco. I've been waiting for you. Once again, my subordinates have failed me. Anyway, it looks like you'll be visiting me again soon. Don't bother trying to pilot the vehicle. I have taken control. You'll be arriving at my command post shortly. I anxiously await your arrival. He closes with a chilling laugh. His image is frozen on the screens. The ship changes course as if it had a life of its own. All you can do is hang on. Do not play with your switch because it looks inappropriate, but I cannot help myself. I am stuck inside a ship being piloted on its own. Do not worry. I'm okay. Feel the ship bank. As Vohaul stated, nothing works. That's what he likes to say. He appears to be telling the truth. I'm only getting closer to his ship. There's nothing I can do. Vohaul stated, nothing works. Through the window you see your apparent destination, Vohaul's asteroid. This is a bad place to be, especially as a janitor who is not trained in hand-to-hand combat or the skill to fire guns. Unfortunately for Vohaul, though, his Sarians were not trained in how to use their weaponry farther past than point and shoot, because a janitor who has never fired a gun in his life was able to outshoot them. So here we are now fighting with an incompetent, researching fool. Surprising that he didn't just crash me back into the planet. The massive bay doors meet, jarring the entire vehicle bay. As you step down, the shuttle door slams shut behind you. You are quite surprised not to find several of Vohaul's guards waiting to greet you. You begin to ponder what the twisted scientist might have in store for you. Do not worry about Vohaul. Make sure you swap your speed back to normal, because if you walk off those edges, you will die. Don't ask me how I know this, but I do, and listen to me. It is not fun. Falling at an incredible speed to your doom is very sad. You are in a small, capsule-shaped enclosure. Above the door is a digital readout, which reads Level 1. The only other feature is a rectangular panel. Look at panel. The panel has a vertical row of 4 buttons. There is some small engraving at the bottom edge of the panel. Look at buttons. The buttons look ordinary. Each button has a word next to it. In order, they are 1, 3, 4, and 5. Push 3. Be careful on these levels. There are many threats to be found upon our slow journey to the levels. Now, careful. Vohaul is a tricky one. You do not know what he has planned for you, so keep an eye out and run at the first sign of danger. You have the funny feeling you are being watched. Look, there is a section of hall dead ends. There is an elevator on the back wall and a camera attached to the ceiling. He knows where you're going and knows what you're going to do. But here's the funny thing. We're going to outsmart a researcher who had more time in SAT than we even bothered to pay attention. We're going to walk to the right here at a fast speed because slow speed and normal speed are incredibly slow. Be careful because the cleaning equipment on this floor is incredibly dangerous because Vohal has overridden their safety features. Just kidding, they only see you as a mess because you haven't taken a shower in 3 months. Go, nice job, Roger Wilco. Now, push button. Now we're going to walk in here. Aha! You know a janitorial closet when you smell one. Almost at once, you sense an emptiness, a melancholy longing. You begin to feel homesick. Now, look inside the closet. It's quite dark in here. You do find a plunger, however. Now, we're going to the right here. Do not worry why. There is not a problem. Now, here we are, heading to the right in a very boring hallway. Oh dear, there is a cleaner. Do not worry. Ah! He will murder you on the spot. Do not worry. You're dead. You didn't feel a thing. Now, don't worry about it when it chases you over here. It will continue on its path. But it's important that you do not get run over by this cleaner. It will continue running down the path. Do not worry, as long as you move at the same speed as it, which is not the same as many of the creatures that you will be facing in these later parts. This part is incredibly dangerous. Be careful, as I was not careful and had to restart. Never mind, run for your life. Because this thing is very murderous. Get in the elevator to avoid being murdered. Now, as it walks past, follow it, because it is in the direction you need to be. Now be careful. You might need to queue up push button already so that you can get inside the closet to avoid being murdered. Very dangerous is the device. Now get in the closet again. Make sure you get plunger. Now, run for your life. The waxer is coming for you. Don't worry how far away it is. It is coming for you. And with how janky this game is, you do not know when it will appear. It is very random. Who knows who programmed this game? They must have been drinking when they did, because this makes no sense. But don't worry. Upon getting in the elevator, you are safe. This will not be the case with any of the future entities. Go to level 4. You will need to be there, because there is an item that you need. Do not worry which bathroom you enter. I'm going to enter the women's restroom because I am a depraved being. Just kidding. They go to the same bathroom. Open door. Look. In the inside of the stall is a sight to behold. There is writing of various languages etched on the walls. The floor has an interesting coating of some type of congealed dreck. It appears that the toilet may have been white once. A toilet paper dispenser hangs on the wall. Get paper. Now, immediately exit through the men's stall, because you do not want to be seen exiting the women's stall. Now, run for your life, because the waxer will whack you. Just like a mob boss when you cross his boss. Make sure you get in the elevator before it gets to you, because it will clean you. Now, go to 5. Do not walk all the way to the right on this level. You will regret your decisions. This is the capture level, where they hold on to their terrifying creatures. Do not walk against the wall. There are dangerous entities that will reach for you. Now climb into the closet and look. It's quite dark in here. There's a small wastebasket. On the floor next to it is a pair of crusty work overalls. Get basket. Okay. Aren't you amazed by how much stuff an adventure game hero can carry? You've just got to know how to pack. Get overalls. You pick up the overalls. They are very small and quite worn out, not to mention filthy, and of no use to you. You toss them back on the floor. As you set them down, something falls to the ground. Look. Dark in here. On the floor is a pair of crusty work overalls. There's a lighter near those. Get lighter. Now, I do believe I missed an item called a glass cutter, which is important for a later part. Do not worry. I will head back to there, and I will cut to where I am now getting the glass cutter. As I forgot to do, there is a janitorial closet on level 4, where you must go into and open and check the insides. Because I am a dummy dumb who forgets to do things. Make sure you get in the closet. And look. It's quite dark in here. On the floor, you notice a glass cutter. Get. Cutter. Okay. Make sure you leave. I do believe there is a waxer on this floor. But do not quote me, because I do not know, because I have never died on this floor. Though I would not like to find out the deaths on this floor. Now, we're going to walk at a brisk speed of wonder. Do not worry. I am a professional, and I take my time because I do not need to go any faster. Now, you're going to be going back to floor 1. Make sure you type in the word 1, or be an idiot like me and spell it wrong. Do not worry, you only have to put in 1, but I wanted to be different from everybody else and put in the correct number. Now, what we'll be going to is floor 2. Do not fall here. It is very easy to, especially on higher speeds. You may even need to reduce your speed. I do not, because I am awesome and I am the best person to exist. Now, we're going to go to the right. Never mind. A barrier springs up before you. Do not worry. There's still the left. Never mind. Another barrier stands in your way. You feel the floor shift below you. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to use plunger. But do not worry. Do not do it too soon, or else you will die, because you are a weak plebeian who has never gone to the gym or even heard of the word gym in your entire life. You'll use the plunger right as you are about to... Oh no. Never mind. You will just die. Due to technical difficulties I was dealing with, and also being somewhat stupid, I was having difficulties with this section even though previously playing it before. Do not worry. You have to put plunger on wall. Make sure you do not do it before then, or else your strength will wane, right as the acid is about to shut, to then which you will fall and die. Using formerly uncharacteristic creativity, you apply the suction cup-like plunger to the smooth metal surface, and hang on for dear life. Once a janitor, always a janitor. Be careful. It will come back. There you go. Now, get down. Let go. You release your grip and drop back down. Now, we will be wandering this floor. Oh, never mind. Do not wander the floor. You will die. Put paper in basket. Drop basket. Light basket. If you do not do this, bullies of metal variety will appear and eat your booty. Never mind. They will actually taser you. Never mind. They won't just taser you, they will remove all the bone marrow in your body. Actually, they will taser you to the point where you disintegrate. The bone marrow part is for a later time. While receiving a nice hosing yourself, the basket fire is extinguished. Seconds later, a loud series of pops is followed by the smell of fried electronics. The sprinklers sense accomplishment and cease operation. Your fire and subsequent shower seems to have shorted out the burnished bullies. Do not worry, those bullies will not be bothering us again. Who knew that for being a genius, Vohauls would not make his robots waterproof? Now, through here to the right, you will find Vohauls in his devious lair with all his door-to-door salesmen. You've just entered Vohauls' secret chamber. The evil one himself is seated before a large console, high on the platform on the center of the room. Standing obliviously, ready are many of the dreaded salesman clones. So, Roger Wilco, we meet again. I must say, I'm quite impressed with your resourcefulness and tenacity. I'd love to chat, but I'm busy preparing the last of my salesman clones for their trip to Xenon. Feel free to stick around and observe the downfall of your civilization. Ha ha ha. Now, we'll be looking at the salesmen. Look at salesmen. These guys are your worst nightmare come true. Imagine hundreds of John Davidsons in magnetically hazardous polyester suits, the color alone capable of rendering helpless the infirm. Top with permabond hair, the face splashed with that "let me win you over" smile. He's a master guildsmith, programmed with one intent: sell, sell, sell. Each are encased in pre-programmed impervious transport capsules. Now, we will be up here to go face the great Vohauls. Going somewhere? Ha ha ha. Now, what is he doing to us? Oh dear, we are being zapped to death. Never mind, I lied. As soon as you step on the platform, you are struck by a beam of light emitted from a unit in the ceiling. In a matter of seconds, you are broken down into microparticles and extracted from the air. What a wonderful fate, to be put into a jar. No one do not wish to find out what he wishes to do with us inside a jar. Never mind. Again, the beam strikes, this time blasting into a glass jar on the console. It is there that you are molecularly reconstructed into a miniaturized form. Well, I'll be darned. My miniaturization beam does work. Vohauls' voice booms. In the old days, I'd test these things on myself, but as you may have noticed, my appearance being my own guinea pig has had its disadvantages. I guess this will keep you out of my way once and for all. You'll make a nice conversation piece. With that, Vohal turns away to put finishing touches on Xenon's fate. Now, you're going to use the glass cutter. Use glass cutter. Make sure you type it out because the game will be intentionally obtuse. The newly cut pane of glass falls to the counter. Apparently, Vohal doesn't notice. Do not walk over to the keyboard over here. You will die. What you will be doing is climb in vent. You will go through your slim carcass through the vent. Now, this is Vohal's life support systems. Now, you will be pushing the button. And ta-da! You've killed him. Way to go, Roger Wilco. You've just disconnected Vohal's life support system. He's a goner without it. Now, to leave. Get out. You can see Vohal struggling to take his last few breaths. Not you again. You think you have won? He wheezes, but all you have done is seal your own fate. He reaches up and flips a switch on the far end of the console before dropping to the floor dead. Now, what we'll be doing is going to the left here to his keyboard. Don't worry about walking on the keyboard. You can walk on it all you want. Now, what you'll be doing is pull switch. Ta-da. And then type in large. Now, you will jump around like Mario. Now, you will be returning to your jar as quickly as possible because time is ticking as we speak. Climb in the jar to where you will be re-enlarged and replaced back to where you came from, in front of Vohal's chair. Now, Vohal is dead. You are once again reconstituted, this time to the correct size. You notice that the clones are gone. Or die. Well, Roger Wilco, you found one more way to snatch humiliation from the jaws of heroism. Thanks for playing. Screw you. Now that Vohal is dead, we will be searching Vohal. An examination of his repulsively turgid, fabric-encased mass reveals nothing other than the tubes which supplied him with blood and oxygen. You do notice the letters SHSR written in pen on the back of his left hand. Now we'll be looking at the screen. Look at screen. SHRS. SHSR. There we go. Don't be stupid and make sure you pay more attention before you type things in. You'll be climbing these stairs here. Be careful. You don't go straight up them. Make sure you slow up to normal speed because you have to do a weird serpentine movement up these stairs, or else you will fall and die. Because this is a Sierra game. Now, look. You are walking through a clear, tubular passageway which seems to wind in and out along the outer perimeter of the asteroid. There is a box mounted on the west end of this tube. Open box. You aren't in the right place to do that. Make sure you press F3 to repeat your commands. You open the box and notice the oxygen mask. Remove it and close the box. Now, use mask. Currently one of your options. Use mask. Use that. Wear mask. There we go. This is very important to wear, or else you will die. Don't ask me how I know this, because I've already answered. I've played this game before. Do not press any buttons during this stage, or else you'll have to do another annoying serpentine movement. Another annoying part. You will have to do an annoying serpentine movement in this part by spamming the down and left arrow keys, because they didn't want to be nice to you this time around. Now give it a second for your character to actually walk all the way to the wall. And there we go. We're walking in space. And oh dear, the glass is breaking. A section of the glass tubing has fractured from combined stress. Do not worry, the pressurized atmosphere rushes for the relative vacuum of space. Fortunately, wearing the mask protects you from suffocation. If you did not listen to me, you will die. Now, over here, be careful. there is a very dangerous droid which will suck your bone marrow out of your body for some reason or another. Do not worry, because he is stupid. 40 minutes until meltdown, a synthesized voice cheerfully announces. Do not worry, just walk over here to the left and run for your diggly little darn life. Now, keep running. It will not get closer to you. You might need to prepare yourself to push a button. With the annoying type-out system in this game, you should. Do not worry about this door here. It is inconsequential to what you are doing. He is gaining on me. Never mind, I lied. You don't need to push the button. Just run in here. The robot is too stupid to realize you went in here, and it will not follow. Now, go over here and walk. Just keep walking until you are on the other side. You may need to immediately push button, but I am not sure. Make sure you save frequently, especially in Sierra games. Now, if I have done this correctly, I should not have to worry about the bone marrow sucking droid. But that is yet to be seen. I do believe that if you go all the way to the right, you will die. Now, push button and get in pod. Make sure you use F3 to type those commands out quickly again. Upon entering the escape pod, you quickly take your seat. Now look around. You are seated inside one of the emergency escape vehicles. Before you lies a control panel and a viewport. Look at panel. The only outstanding feature on the panel is the clearly marked launch button. Push button. Warning! Emergency escape vehicle launch sequence has begun. Now, you are relatively safe here. Launch time. -7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Launch. Now, whew, you're going to have to stop cutting these escapes so close, Roger Wilco. Well, you must feel pretty good right now. You stopped Vohaul from carrying out his threat of salesman infestation, ultimately destroying the twisted scientist himself. You also managed to save your own skin, and just look at that score! You're pretty darned impressive. Suddenly, a warning signal draws your attention to the oxygen meter on the front panel. It reads low and dropping fast. This is just great. You knew it was all too good to be true. You have maybe 5 minutes of air left. Well, Roger Wilco, it was nice knowing you. Now you're going to look inside the pod. Now, you take the time to view the interior of the pod. In more detail, you see a sleeper chamber against the wall. You will be going over to here and open chamber. Now, you turn back the plexiglass cover. Get in chamber. You make the split-second decision to enter the sleep chamber. It seals automatically. Soon, you are overcome by a pleasant drowsiness. This is certainly better than suffocating. You begin to drift away into a deep sleep with the satisfaction of having accomplished your task. You've come through in the clutch, and you deserve a nice long rest. Now, if someone would just pick you up somewhere along the way. So long, Roger Wilco, and thanks again for saving your people. Thank you for playing Space Quest 2. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I had a blast, even though I had to deal with this game by myself for about a half an hour. I hope you had a blast, too, watching me die, even though I knew how to play this game already. I hope you had fun, though I may be a little redundant. Really glad you came to watch. This will be a long play, so it won't be a series like my first game, because I didn't muddle through it, and I did have aid from a guide. Thank you to guides from people who played this game, well, decades later after its release. And goodbye. Stay frosty. Hope you had a blast. Goodbye.